Hey, y'all, listen, welcome in the building, welcome in the building. Happy Friday, y'all. It's the 2nd of January. We here, we in the building. I hope everybody's doing good and you all healthy and everything. I had a good Friday and I hope y'all did too. Well, listen, people. It's Friday night, it's trending topics. We got stuff to talk about. I'm trying to get settled in my chair, okay? The title's called Family Matters. Every now and then we gotta do Family Matters. So Will Smith, put him on the list. We might as well start a roster of all the black celebrities that are being sued. This concept and this situation is not unfamiliar to us, unfortunately. You go back, there's Bill Cosby. Actually did some time behind bars and got out on a technicality. It's similar stuff. So the accusations are a little bit different, but it's all similar. I personally don't understand. I guess it's always been like this, but it's just more out there now because of social media. But I really can't understand the people with the obsession with sex. But maybe I shouldn't say it's an exception. Maybe it's an addiction. To the point where you're going to want to violate somebody that don't want nothing to do with you. See, I'm good. I'd rather be with somebody who truly wants to be with me. But we're going to talk about this young man. But listen, he according to him, he did go to the police. Now, his complaint confuses me. But just because I'm confused, that don't mean y'all confused. And maybe y'all can explain it to me. But I'm a little bit confused. Because nowhere I didn't read the document, but I didn't see from all the articles where he said he was actually violated. These other people are actually telling us they was touched, rubbed on, groped up, and all this other kind of stuff. He talks about being groomed. Somebody broke into his hotel room but didn't break in, but left some stuff and left this and left that. And he said, Will said, we got a connection. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. That's all I can say. And then I did a story on my channel, but we're going to talk about it here tonight in Trending Topics. The pastor versus the daughter. The daughter recorded her father, who's a pastor, putting his hands on her. And I said to myself, everybody wasn't meant to be a parent, that's for sure. And he was actually out of her life. He didn't raise her, according to her. They had a connection later in life. And he told her to come from one state and to come to his state because he wanted to help her, I guess, live a better existence with her son. But they didn't get along. And he didn't mind, at least what it appears like in the video, putting his hands on her. And I said, good googly my. I grew up in the church. And they said, somebody got to help me out with this saying. It's something like many are called or few are called. I don't know. It's something about how many people are called to do that ministry. I think they said many are called, but few are gifted, are anointed to do it. Maybe he thought he got the calling to be a pastor, but he definitely ain't ready. He going, come on, see, that's why I love y'all. Come on now, people. Many are called, but few are chosen. He definitely wasn't the chosen one. I appreciate all of y'all helping me out with the words. Thank you. You think you was called to be in that pulpit? And you putting your hands on your daughter? You could have left her where she was at. in the struggle. Because clearly she ain't doing better under your watch. And then, you know, the people been saying stuff about Wells Fargo for a minute. And speaking of Wells Fargo, before I get into this story I'm going to talk about tonight, I thought they told us Wendy was going to be out of her conservatorship by the end of 2025. I got to follow up on that because as far as I know, she's still under conservatorship. But the people have feelings about Wells Fargo for a minute now. They got issues with Wells Fargo. Listen, I do have a Wells Fargo account, but it ain't my main account. And because of y'all, I probably will never make it my main account because Wells Fargo is with the flim. This Texas grandmother got ripped off for $15K. Wells Fargo told her, oh well, you reported it too late, huh? Somebody robbed me of $15,000 and y'all saying, oh well, and you don't want to investigate it? Where they do that at? Yeah, y'all, I still got a Wells Fargo account. I don't know. You know, we're going to have to see about that. You said they rip everybody off. Good googly my. Listen, people, I done talked enough. It's time for me to bring the people on in the building. So y'all know what time it is. I need a what in the chat? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Friday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Family Matters. We got Will Smith being sued by the violinist that said he was being groomed by Will. We got the pastor versus the daughter, and we got the Texas grandmother versus Wells Fargo. Let me bring the people in the building. Hold on one second. Hey, Felicia. Hey, Callie. Hey, Julian.
Hey, everyone. Hit the like button for the Diva. That's your ticket on the train. I'll be in the chat watching.
Come on now, watch them doors, Julius. You know the New York City subway, they got new doors because they trying to, you know, prevent the people from not paying their fare on the train. But the little kids and stuff been getting trapped in these doors. They said they making adjustments, but you know what? It's a hot stinking mess from what I heard. But anyway, let me go ahead. We're going to start off with this Will Smith story. I don't even, it's crazy now. You know, and everybody, they killing me. They was giving Diddy the side eye. Like that behavior and what they was hearing was so unfamiliar to them. They was clutching their pearls like I could never. But the more we learning is that this is what they seem to do in Hollywood. Let me share a screen so we could get into this story. It's the first piece I'm going to show. Oopsie. Hold on one second.
Will Smith claiming retaliation after he alleges that he was fired for reporting sexual harassment while on tour with Smith. Brian King Joseph filed the lawsuit in California earlier this week, accusing Smith of deliberately grooming him for sexual exploitation. Joseph says the two began spending time alone together during Smith's tour, and he says Smith allegedly told him that they had a, quote, special connection. It also details an alleged traumatic series of events, that's a quote, including Joseph finding that someone had allegedly entered his hotel room while he was not there. After reporting the incident to police, he alleges a representative for Smith accused him of lying and fired him. Smith denies these allegations. NBC News correspondent Liz Kreutz joins us now. Liz, this is all new. What else are we learning about these allegations, including the alleged intrusion?
Yeah, Kate. So according to the complaint, this all happened in March of last year while the violinist was on tour with Will Smith for Smith's global tour for his latest album based on a true story. And according to the complaint, there was this intrusion at his Las Vegas hotel room. He came back to his hotel, he says, and found that there was no forced entry, but that someone had entered the room and left a number of items there. And according to the complaint, there was a letter, the handwritten letter that was written that said, "Brian, I'll be back, just us," with a drawn heart. And it was signed by someone who identified as Stone F. There were also wipes, a beer bottle, a red backpack, a bottle of HIV medication with another person's name on it, an earring, and hospital discharge paperwork belonging to a person that was unknown to the defendant. So the defendant, his name is Brian King Joseph. He then reported this to police, the hotel staff, and he also said he reported it to Smith's management team. But he claims that he was then shamed by Will Smith's management team, accused of lying, and he says he was then fired. And then shortly after he was fired, they said they were going in a different direction, but then they ended up hiring another violinist. So he is now suing for, among other things, emotional distress and economic loss. Kate.
And Liz, how are Smith and his attorney responding?
Well, they're adamantly denying all of these claims. Smith's attorney has released a statement. We can read it here. It says, "Mr. Joseph's allegations concerning my client are false, baseless, and reckless. They are categorically denied, and we will use all legal means available to address these claims and to assure that the truth is brought to light." Kate.
All right, Liz Kreutz, thank you so much.
We thank you for
Okay, let me share screen again. Let's hear what the victim had to say.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to talk about something really important. Earlier this year, I was hired to be a performer on a major tour with somebody who is huge in the industry. So I was excited, proud of myself for getting the opportunity. Unfortunately, some things happened, and I can't get into the details of exactly what that was because it's already a legal issue right now. But the reason why I'm speaking out about this is because getting fired or getting blamed or shamed or threatened or anything like that, simply for reporting sexual misconduct or safety threats at work, is not okay. And I know that there's a lot of other people out there who have been afraid to speak up, and I understand. And if that's you, I see you. And that's pretty much it. More updates to come soon. Thanks for listening.
And I guess the new way now is you go on your Instagram or your social media and you allude to stuff and yada yada who. So this is a resurfaced video, shows Will Smith, sexual harassment accuser, addressing the situation days before the lawsuit went public, explains why he spoke out. Okay. And so that's him. Hold on one second. He's scary with those contacts in his eyes, but that's a side note. Let me see. So Will Smith accused of sexual harassment by violinist Brian King Joseph, traumatic series of events. Will Smith is being sued for sexual harassment by violinist Brian King Joseph. The professional musician filed a complaint against Smith and his Trey Ball Studios Management, Inc. Trey is his eldest son's name, just an FYI. Company at the Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles on Tuesday, page 6 can confirm. The 33-year-old's lawsuit alleged traumatic series of events took place during Smith's global tour last year. And some of these celebrities need to read the room too, right? We don't know what happened, but when I'm saying read the room, read the room. Last year, Diddy was on trial. Why would you even be playing any kind of, games in these streets when you know that now the people don't have no problem going to the court of law and suing you? Joseph claims Smith was deliberately grooming and priming him for further sexual exploitation when the actor invited Joseph to take part in his tour in November 2024. While touring with Smith in March 2025, Joseph allegedly discovered forced entry in his Las Vegas hotel room with a sexual threat of violence. The America's Got Talent alum claimed the note had been left behind, reading, "Brian, I'll be back. Just Us, signed by Stone F with a heart. Joseph also alleged to have found wipes, a beer bottle, a red backpack, a bottle of HIV medication with another individual's name, an earring, and a hospital discharge paperwork belonging to a person unbeknownst to him. He feared that an unknown individual would soon return to his room to engage in sexual acts and reported the incident to the hotel, but was later allegedly shamed by a tour management team member and fired. Joseph claimed this led to severe emotional distress, economic loss, reputational harm, and other damages. These include PTSD and other mental illness. The actor's attorney, Alan B. Grodsky, told Page 6 on Friday that Joseph's complaint was false, baseless, and reckless. He continued, the allegations are categorically denied, and we will use all legal means available to address these claims and to ensure that the truth is brought to light. Joseph first performed with Smith 57 in December 2024, gushing about the experience via Instagram. The security guard was watching a classical vibe, he gushed at the time, night one at Will Smith. Since filing his complaint, Joseph shared his gratitude on his story, telling his followers, the support means a lot, guys. Thank you. He hinted at the scandal in a cryptic Instagram video last week. Getting fired or getting blamed or shamed or threatened or anything like that simply for reporting sexual misconduct or safety threats at work is not okay, Joseph said on December the 26th. While he did not identify Smith or provide further details, he said the matter involves somebody huge in the industry. Did we hear that before with Christian Kings? Okay, Felicia, your thoughts?
Good evening, everybody, and happy Friday. Listen, I don't have a comment because I don't know what's the sexual part. What happened? What I missed something here. He found some trash in his room, right? Mm-hmm. Things that didn't belong to him. He knew someone had entered the space, so that's technically breaking and entering, trespassing. Yes. So, what did I miss with the sexual assault? Did I not listen? What did you read about the?
I did, and he said he was being groomed and prepped, and he was hired.
Oh, he claims he was being groomed.
And prepped, and he was hired.
So he says Mr. Smith was. So Mr. Smith hired him to groom him. And his room was broken into.
Yeah.
And someone left some things in there that I guess were inappropriate. He did file a police report, correct? He said he filed a police report. Right? And then when he did, after that, he was shamed by other staff members and he was wrongfully terminated. I need more information. I'll pass. Thanks.
No, no, because it don't make sense, right? But and this is just me talking. I personally think that now everybody just wants to go for this civil lawsuit, and they want to try to play on their emotions by saying I'm speaking up, and I know there's more out there, and this, that, and the other. Sir, I had some things that went on at different jobs that I worked on that I got more evidence than he put before us with this whole sexual harassment thing. Somebody was in your room. Nobody touched you. We got other people that said they was physically touched. They woke up in their butt. All he giving us is that some meds was in his room. A note was left. He reported it to everybody he could report it to, and then he got fired. I'm going to say this respectfully. Would you want to stay on a job like that after that happened to you?
But Diva, I have heard of people being on vacation and people have broken into their room and left some stuff. I know somebody that was in a room and then somebody else went and checked in the same room as them. Things happen. I'm trying to understand, how did that translate to Will Smith essayed me. I'm not
trying to say the letter that was left was really, even though it says stoned AF, maybe he gonna say that was, he knows that that's what they call Will. I don't know what Brian's saying, Felicia. Don't get me started. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Because we also know I also know that when they're on tour, they're going to stay at the better hotels, and these hotels have cameras. So I don't, I'm not buying his story. I'm saying that something happened, and he has attributed it to Mr. Smith, and it could have been anybody in that group or a stranger off the hallway. Because I'm thinking about that. Was it a guy and a girl who lost Beyonce's stuff, or the car was stolen?
Yep.
They broke into the car when they stopped for food or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he went and made the report about her music and the layout of her show and everything like that. And he said, I don't want to really give the name, but is a very, high level kind of celebrity. But our vehicle was broken into, and we could hear the recording. So I think something happened here, and I think he wants to attribute it to Mr. Smith, and it wasn't Mr. Smith. I'm done.
Thank you. Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, this guy, unfortunately, I think this is a case where he was let go and he's just trying to figure out a way to get some money. And this incident probably happened where the room wasn't clean from the previous guest or something like that. And he's trying to sort of flip this around some way to say that Will Smith did something to him, or someone that works for Will Smith did something to him, so that he can in some way sue. This is my thing. I have a distinct feeling that these lawsuits happen all the time. But ever since people got all of that internet traffic from Diddy, now we're hearing about every little frivolous lawsuit that is filed against a celebrity. I think that this is just normal. Like, people just sue celebrities. They make up fake stories. Sometimes these are fans. Sometimes these are ex-employees. But because the news organization saw that huge ratings boost from everything that went on with Diddy, that now they're just putting all of these stories out irresponsibly because they just need the ratings and the traffic. This story is ridiculous. There actually is a similar story like this with Diddy, where he hosted a party and someone said that they were essayed by just some other random person, and he was just there working, hosting a party, so somehow they're suing him. So this is not the first time we've seen like this jigsaw together story. And then as far as this guy, again, I think he's just salty because he was let go. He could have let go. He could have been let go because maybe he couldn't keep up with the band, or it could have been that his behavior was a little bit weird and the other people didn't want to work with him. Because he does seems a little bit too eccentric, and maybe after getting to know him, people felt uncomfortable. And I don't think it was this necessarily Will specifically. It could have been, the whole crew of people that he needed to work with. And someone, HR, was like, people feel like they're a little uncomfortable around him. We got to let him go. I just have a feeling that that's what's going on with this situation. And unfortunately, Will Smith is getting caught up in this. I don't know where this is going to land. This might end up just being the end of celebrity, because now the media, in my opinion, has turned on them. And the media made most of these people. Most of these people didn't get famous on talent. I'm not saying Will, but most of these people actually just got famous because, they were in the media all the time. The blogs kept covering them. They made them these big old huge celebrities, and everyone wanted to support. And now the blogs are making more money, and the news outlets are making more money, saying that people are suing you than they are making you famous. So, yeah, I actually feel bad for Will. And I don't think this guy's going to get any money, but people are going to take this and run with it as though he's out here essaying the male musicians that work for him. And this is never going to go away.
You know, honestly, I'm gonna say this, whether it's true or not, there have been sprinklings for decades about Will. Way before the Red Table disaster with him and Jada. So I don't think this is 100% made up. I think the problem that all of these celebrities are having is they do not understand that when they employ somebody, they are now an employer. He named in there Trey Productions, which is Will Smith's production company. It was Will Smith tour, and afterwards they hired another violinist. And I do believe that because he went to the police.
But
So
nothing happened to him. Did we miss something with this story? Maybe I'm not understanding the
no, we
story.
didn't miss anything with the story from what is being presented to us now, right? But I'm saying all of this to say that Cassie changed the game. And you had said that, and it's 100% true. So now, even with this Mario Rodriguez, so what happened is because Cassie got 20 million and people don't want to use their brain, all they're thinking is $20 million, right? But Cassie was in that thing for 10 years. Cassie had a lot of footage, whether we agree with it or not, and she had a lot of information and different things that she went through that had that jury warranted giving her to, well, I mean, sorry, not the jury, had the settlement warranted where she got that $20 million. But all people want to focus on is the 20 million. So after Cassie, everybody started coming out the woodworks with these wild, ridiculous numbers in these civil suits, thinking they about to hit the jackpot. And why not? When after that, Shannon Sharp, little mama, she got what, 20 million or whatever she got, and she didn't even have to be 10 years deep in it. What was that? A 2-year situation? And now she raked in double-digit millions. So I think this guy, he woke up like Mario Rodriguez did in the Tyler Perry situation. He felt like, you know, he got a couple things because now he's saying too, he claiming mental illness, PTS, PSTD, they hired another violinist, this, that, and the other. Me personally, if I even thought like all of this happened and somebody was trying to groove me, you don't need to fire me because deuces, I'm out. I don't understand these individuals either who they're in these crazy sick situations and they don't mind staying. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, Diva, it don't really make much sense to me. And you know, he said he believed he said he was being groomed. You know, what was ever going on in that room has to do with grooming. I don't know. These stories, they only come to surface. It's like in waves. You know, somebody brings one, and then for a few weeks, several weeks, people come out the woodwork. So it's just kind of hard either sympathize or believe, you know, these people when it's all the same pattern. It's all the same thing. And he hasn't, I mean, what is it? I don't even, he hasn't even given anything that there's a charge for. You know, I don't know if there's a charge for possible grooming. How do you prove that? So I don't know. I kind of believe like Cal, you know, it's like a money grab. You see other people, I guess it's kind of hard when you see other people getting $20 million and you think you have something similar. So I guess this is the drive to get at least $1 million, because a lot of them would settle for a lot less. And I think they'd be quite happy.
Katrina, your thoughts? Katrina be having internet issues. Katrina? All right, I'm gonna move on. Julius, your thoughts?
If anything what the Diddy saga has taught me is to be cautious and wary of civil lawsuits. And I am, and I said it in the chat, I don't believe a thing anymore. Like, I feel like a detective, even, I have to see the evidence, I have to see something. And it's not even innocent until proven guilt. I have to see something to even have like an empathetic eye. And given my experience, more so. And it's like I don't want to give people the side eye, but when you see people gloat like, yeah, this happens to me, like even if they say it in a certain way, it makes you go, So was it the fact that nothing happened to you and maybe you were just a difficult employee? And that's why you got terminated and now you're salty? It just, to me, it's just suspicious.
In my opinion, your thoughts?
So in Hollywood, we all know that it's just crazy stuff that's been happening. I don't put nothing past none of these people, but at the same time, I do believe that the attack on Will is coming based on quite a few things, and I do think that there's a attack on the stars, the celebrities, and their pockets. Mainly because everybody's seeing everybody getting all this money, and everybody like, well, what mine at? So every wrong deed that everybody has done, they dragging it out. What I will say is, if you didn't do anything wrong in the first place, you wouldn't have nobody to sue you. So I think we're gonna really see when these people put out the evidence, because I just don't see the evidence now. Don't mean he don't have it. Don't have the proof, but I don't see it now. But I do think it's gonna be more cases and more cases and more cases, and we're gonna see a lot more celebrities being drugged out through the mud just to see what they can get. Nobody thought we was gonna be seeing Bill Cosby being hemmed up at his old age. Nobody thought we was gonna see Smokey hemmed up at his old age, but they are coming out the woodwork. So while they was all being weird and Hollywood for a check, now these people that they was going and tagging them around with and having them in their company and doing inappropriate things, they coming out the woodwork for y'all pockets.
Katrina, your thoughts?
Hey Diva, hey panel, hey chat. My thoughts are this guy. I'm not saying that Will didn't do it or whatsoever, but it's just so ironic. Um, when they was trying to say that Will was bi or whatever, and it's like this is the first person that came out saying that this happened other than his friend or whatever. But what I'm saying is, if you went back to your room and you seen all this stuff in your room, you said you seen this medicine that's for AIDS or whatsoever. How do you know that medicine's for AIDS unless you looked it up or you know something about it? And another thing is, if I seen something like that in my room, I would go down there to the hotel people and tell them, look, y'all need to switch my rooms out.
He went to them.
Okay, he did that. So they should have switched his room out or whatsoever. And then after that, you saying that I've been groomed for that, you didn't have to fire me. I quit. So he said the folks made him quit. They fired him because he said that they would send him up to be groomed or whatsoever. But like you said, Diva, I wouldn't want to work for you no way if this is what's gonna happen. Y'all trying to set me up to have this done to me, especially when I don't want this to be done. I would have quit myself. But I guess if he's saying that they fired him wrongful termination, that means a lawsuit or whatsoever. But my thing is, the lawyers don't talk to their clients and tell them to keep their mouth closed and don't talk about a lawsuit and bring it to the internet. I mean, that'll be the first thing I would tell my client. Look, keep this closed until we get all the facts, until we bring everything around. Don't go running your mouth on the internet. You're going to get scrutinized. The case going to be a whole nother way. Will got more money than you have, and he can have his lawyers in court every day, and you can't. Keep your mouth closed until you get through. Until you get finished with your lawsuit or whatever is going to happen. That's why I understand why don't lawyers ever tell them to keep their mouth closed. But if this happened, he need to get paid. If not, go away and let it be. But we'll see how it goes after this, D, because they're gonna stay on the internet and you're gonna have more stories, girl, which is good for you. But that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, Katrina. I think the lawyers do tell them to shut their mouth, and they just can't help it. It's something about the camera and the mic. Because that Mario Rodriguez, wherever he's sitting at, I don't know if he in some restaurant or whatever, and he got the little mic in his hand, and he just the talking and the talking. Do your talking in the courtroom, sir, and wait till after. But even Derek Dixon, he went to ABC and did a whole interview. It's something about the mic. They gotta talk before they get in that courthouse and win their case. I'm gonna talk. You know what? Matter of fact, that young girl, that's one of the smartest ones yet. The one that won against Shannon Sharp. She said she turned a whole new leaf. She don't got to do OnlyFans no more. And y'all gonna be hearing about her charity soon. And we ain't hear from her yet. Anyway, people, I'm going to go ahead and roll into this next story. Let's do the Texas grandmother, grandmother versus Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is a disgrace.
Fraud that happened to your grandmother. That's terrible.
The messages came by the dozens.
And watching this story made me absolutely sick to my stomach.
People responding from across the country.
The floodgates have come open, from emails to DMs, my Instagram.
They were reacting to WFA's story about Kaisha Byers' grandmother and a check she won't forget.
$14,952.52. Never will forget it.
Her grandmother, Billy Young, had written a check to pay off her car loan. The check got cashed, but not by the finance company. Wells Fargo later denied her fraud claim. In a May 2025 letter, the bank wrote that due to untimely reporting, we will not reimburse you for the disputed transactions.
People have shared their stories and things that have happened to them or their elderly parents.
But Wells Fargo isn't the only place the family says they've hit a wall. There's also the Dallas Police Department.
There's been no follow-up.
A detective contacted Byers this week after WFA requested comment from the department.
I 100% get that sentiment that they would like me to do more.
You to be the detective?
Me to be the detective. Yes, absolutely.
She says the detective ultimately agreed to take the additional evidence the family had gathered, including an image of the check itself. It's been altered with a person's name written in, a distinctive name matching a local real estate agent.
We kind of were told that the person whose name's on the check could also be a victim, but we won't know whether they were a victim or they initiated the crime without any investigation by the local police department.
Wells Fargo says it's re-reviewing Young's case. Dallas police told us the investigation is ongoing. In Dallas, I'm Tanya Iser.
What a disgrace. Hold on one second. So Texas grandmother 83 says Wells Fargo heartlessly refused to reimburse her $15K fraudsters ripped off from her. Hold on one second, guys. An 83-year-old Texas woman says Wells Fargo left her on the hook for nearly $15,000 at the fraudsters altered the check she mailed, and now going to the bank induces vomiting and tears. Billy Young, a Dallas resident who has been caring for her cancer-stricken husband, wrote 2 checks in August 2024, according to the family. One was for her electric bill. The other was for $14,952.52, was meant to pay off her car loan. Only one payment reportedly made it where it was supposed to go. While the utility bill was processed normally, the car loan check was altered and cashed by an unauthorized party, draining nearly $15,000 from Young's Wells Fargo's account, her family told the news. Wells Fargo denied Young's fraud claim in May, citing untimely reporting, according to correspondence reviewed by the family. The claim will remain denied, and we will not reimburse you for the disputed transactions, the bank reportedly wrote. The rejection has taken a toll on Young, according to her family. It's been very sad, and more so to see we can't get through a bank visit without her vomiting or being in tears, Young's granddaughter Keisha told the news. Young's family insists she contacted the bank well within the reporting window mandated by Wells Fargo in order to submit a claim for reimbursement. On September 6th, Young called Wells Fargo to ask about both checks, a call she documented in her checkbook. The news she reported on the news. A bank representative told her the electric check had not cleared, and Young requested to stop payment. She also told the car loan check had cleared. According to the family, the rep did not tell Young that the check had been cashed by someone other than the intended payee. Believing the loan had been paid, Young took no further action. Later that month, she received a bill from the lender showing the balance was still due. It wasn't until mid-October she obtained an image of the cash check that the fraud became clear, the victim's family said. The name of the payee had been changed to someone Young did not know, and her signature appeared to have been altered. Young filed a fraud claim with Wells Fargo, and her family filed a report with the Dallas Police Department, they said. They added that the altered check was initially rejected by one bank because it appeared fraudulent, but another bank immediately cashed it. Young, who had banked with Wells Fargo since 1996, later closed her account. After the news reported the story last month, viewers nationwide contacted the station with similar accounts involving elderly relatives whose fraud claims were denied over timing issues. Following their second report earlier this week, Wells Fargo said it was reviewing Young's case. Dallas police also said they were taking another look at the case. The Post has sought comment from Wells Fargo. Of course, you know Wells Fargo didn't comment back. This is a disgrace. Felicia, your thoughts?
It hurts. It hurts to hear this. Because I'm going to go here a little bit tonight. And I'm not going to go here to be offensive to others. I'm just going to speak from my perspective.
Okay.
I think in this country, particularly in this country, aging is looked at something as a negative. You don't know what you're doing. You're confused. You don't know what you're saying. Meanwhile, only thing is that you've aged. You're still your mind is still right. You know who you are, where you are, how to pay your bills. But this is the response that you get as you're aging. That you must be mistaken. So all this judgment based on your age. So she calls up, and maybe her voice is a little frail. I don't know, but she looks fantastic to me for 83 years of age. And she's asking, and she's getting incorrect information. Okay? They tell her one check cleared, the other one didn't. They don't tell her the payee was changed and all this other stuff. And according to what you read to us, it took them 5 months to send her the image of the check that was fraudulently corrected. So now she had to wait. So you say a timely manner. You took nearly 5 months to send her that check that was cashed. So now she says, no, this is not me. This isn't who I wrote. I don't know this person. Well, because she's probably elderly and it's a big get over and they don't want to pay her out. They tell her, no, you didn't do it in a timely manner. But God bless, she got family. And she got family that care. And they're strong and they're brave and they're righteous. And they're going to say, no, you're not doing this to my grandmother, my nana, my mama, you're not. So this is why it's been reopened. And yes, I've been hearing about things like this, particularly from the Wells Fargo, the Capital One banks, where these checks are getting washed out. They use something to wash out your name, the name of who you wrote the check to. They then put in their name. And unfortunately, somebody on the inside is clearing the check. In this story, they said the first place they went to called it out and said, no, don't look good. I can tell you here in my community, they could have taken a check like that right down to the liquor store and they would have cashed it, because this is how bad it is. This is how bad it is. So again, I don't want to go into 2025, but it's about protecting your resources. So what do I suggest that folks do? Do the cashier's check. When it's big like that, do a cashier's check. And you track it. You don't just put it in the mailbox. You FedEx it. You do something that has to require a signature, okay? So that you're not having to go from from hand to hand to hand. I have a friend of mine, associate of mine, who just, I think last week told me she went to go pay something on her mortgage. I think it was something like $8,000. And she was at Popular Bank and somebody washed out the name of the mortgage company and put their name in there. And people told her in a timely manner that she's not getting her money back. And I said to her, do you want me to help you to get your money back? I said, if you do, call me. I'll, because you have to. So she was kind of like on the fence. She got it like that. Me, I ain't got it like that. We gonna fight in the street. And you know what? And listen, folks, I know I said until the ball drop, anybody can get it. But I'm sorry, I learned today. I'm still in. Anybody can get it. I think it's gonna be all the way to spring. Okay.
Listen, but you gave some really good tips. When it's a big dollar amount like that, go get yourself a cashier's check and FedEx that check to the said recipient. And then Kay gave us a good idea here in the chat too. She said use a Uniball 207 gel pen. I guess because with that pen, they won't be able to wash it out. This is terrible, just disgusting. But you know what? Most of these bank stories, I'm hearing that is Wells Fargo. Julius, your thoughts?
Well, let's give credit to Wendy. I'm going to give her credit. I'm going to give her flowers, and this is why. She brought the light the corruption of Wells Fargo. Mm-hmm. She brought the light the behind the scene corruption of that institution. How they abuse senior citizens and the elderly, and even folks my age by just thinking, oh yeah, well, they don't know what they're doing, yada, yada, yada. Even though we have stamps and proof and all that other stuff. So I'm going to say this, folks, keep an eye, okay? Listen and observe, but very much so listen and go by the mannerisms of the person, because then you're going to tell very quickly how you're going to be treated. And I say that. And if you need to cash a check really badly, now my legal scholar, as I call Miss Felicia, she just said it. Go down to the liquor store.
Listen, no, you heard wrong, Julius. Don't go down to nobody's liquor store to cash nobody's check. You just gotta go to the proper banks to do your business. But I want to stay clear here. And let's stay clear here. Because this is sticking out in my mind now. This is a very good tip. You get yourself a cashier's check.
That too.
And that way you can track it when you got to send somebody this big money. Because some of these banks, as we can see, Wells Fargo, I think, is probably at the top of the list. They want to play games talking about you didn't report it in enough time. That's bananas. Katrina, your thoughts?
I've been saying this over and over. Wells Fargo is a shady tail bank. I've been saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. I know what they did to the black people. We had a high interest rate because we was black. They are very, very shady. And either if you can't get a cashier check, get a money order. Post office have money orders, and you keep the little tip, and it show that you made this money order out. You can track the money order. You can do what you got to do. And my thing is with that first bank, you thought that was a fraudulent check. Why didn't you call the police? Why did you give that check back to that person? I've seen many times on YouTube streets, these folks go in these banks trying to cash these checks, and the first thing they do is call the police. If you thought that was a fraudulent check, why didn't you take that check or call the police to let them know that this person out here with a fraudulent check? You let them walk back out the door with that check. And then another thing, they probably whitewashed it or whatever they did to this check. The other person that cashed that check, you didn't think anything of it? Because sometimes they would call the owner of the check to make sure the check clear, or they will hold the check for a couple of days to make sure the funds is there. Like I said, this is some shady mess that's going on, and then take this woman money and just be oblivious on how she's feeling. This woman gets sick every time she goes to the bank, and I would be sick too. If I'm trying to pay off my car, husband sick and whatsoever, and this is what y'all do to me. This is sad on so many levels, and just ridiculous that they will allow this to happen. I've seen plenty of people in the internet street, and I know some lady. I know a lady, and I just don't get it. They sent her a check, told her to go to the bank, $80,000. The bank gave her the $80,000. They gave it to her. And this fool gave the money to the person that sent her the check. I get a lot of checks like that with a little slip of paper in it from FedEx. Somebody go to Walmart and be a secret shopper, go buy Apple cards, go do this, stretch out the back and send us the receipt in the back of the card. You be a darn fool if you fall for that. But you got a lot of people that fall for it. You got people saying that banks calling them, saying that they somebody had got in their accounts and that their account has been compromised. They go. All you got to do is go to somebody. All you got to do is go to the get somebody a credit report, and they can tell you everything that that person got. And these people fall for it. They go to the bank, withdraw their money, hand their money off to somebody in the parking lot because the person in the parking lot told them that they're gonna change their account. Why in the world would you do that? How you gonna give your money to somebody in the parking lot when you don't even know them? It's sad on what these people are doing these days, and the bank should be more stricter. And especially that Wells Fargo, you got so many lawsuits on you that you paying out right now that you're trying to keep everybody else's money. They full of crap. I hope the little lady get her money, and hopefully something to come through for her. Maybe they'll go ahead and pay it now since it's been put in the news. But anyway, good
Yeah,
luck to her. That's all I got.
in my opinion.
This is a form of elder abuse, and Wells Fargo, they don't care. They defraud people all the time, whether it's a home loan, a car loan, your bank accounts. I do not trust Wells Fargo. I don't. I really feel sorry for this lady because she's being held accountable for something that she didn't even get a chance to be accountable for. She called the check on it and she wrote it down in her checkbook just to show that, hey, she wrote it down. And my problem is when this bank waits 5 months to give her this council check and they saying you didn't do it in a timely fashion. Well, what was your timely fashion? And now the police officers don't want to do their job, but when it goes to the news, now both of y'all want to come on and get on your job. Y'all both sad. And the Dallas Police Department should feel ashamed of themselves because you saw one of your citizens, an elderly person, was being attacked. And instead of doing your job that you get paid to do, you turned a blind eye until you couldn't no more. Shame on you. That could be your mother or your grandmama, and you don't give a dang. But had it been your mama or your grandma, you would have wanted somebody to care. I really wish they would stop doing that. They have selective of who they want to be responsible and held accountable for. And we got to stop that because everybody deserves the right to do justice.
Yeah. Thank you, in my opinion. Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, I hope she gets a good lawyer and, you know, not only for her money, but for pain and suffering.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I mean, that you walk in the bank and you have to go through these things, you know, throwing up and all that. Not only that, Wells Fargo needs to see, because obviously a lot of this is just going on. Oh well, like Felicia said, some people got it like that, so nobody's making a big complaint. So they pay one good money, but look at all the other money they collected from people that they've done this to.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is that I hope she gets a good lawsuit and sue for more than $14,000, so Wells Fargo know what's coming down the line. Because it seems to be predatory on elderly people. I mean, most elderly, like this woman did, like maybe the average person, maybe younger person, whatever age, but just not elderly. Maybe they would do some of the things we saying do. Get a cashier's check, send it FedEx, whatever. And not only just money orders, checks, anything important. Like you're doing your passport, FedEx it. Anything that important, it needs to be signed for so it got to where it's supposed to go. She may have just sat down, just write a check out, and she had a carbon copy of that check. They could have looked at that check and saw the carbon copy to see it didn't match that check.
Right.
So that's why I said she needs to sue investigations, because this got to be inside. This got to be inside. Who would take a chance and cash a $14,000 check in the bank unless you knew you was good?
That part.
And you was covered.
And why not call the person that owns the account to say, hey Diva, did you write a check to Wayne for $14,000? And the fact that one of their Wells Fargo's denied it and another one took it, that bank should be responsible, period. Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys are saying. I was always raised by my parents to get cashier's checks, but sometimes I don't feel like going to go get the cashier's check, so I'll write a regular check. So I'm right now ordering one of those pens. because you just never know that whose hands that check might get into. But the reason why you keep hearing about this with Wells Fargo and not other banks, because most other banks, if you write a check that's outside of something of your norm, like say you write a check every other month to pay your light bill. Okay, you have a normal pattern of writing a check for this. And then you just randomly write this check for $14,000. Typically, they are not going to release those funds unless they speak to you and you verify who you are and that you wrote this check. Because I used to work in banking, that we had a whole call system for that.
Protocol.
Yeah. And we weren't even the fraud department. We worked with entertainment industry, so we were like these personal bankers. But even with the regular bank, I remember once my dad wrote a check and they would not cash it until he went through the approval process. And he had to prove who he was, that he wrote the check, and who he wrote it to. He had to verify his address, all kind of stuff. That is why you only hear about this with Wells Fargo, because these other banks are not releasing funds like that.
Yeah, Wells Fargo is trash, okay? Because that's ridiculous. That is just straight up ridiculous. I'm going to roll into this last story, which is very sad. When you see parents not getting along with their kids, but to see a parent, and not just a parent that calls himself a pastor, put his hands on his child, that is really crazy work, like they like to say. It's just insane. I'm going to first show you the young lady's Facebook, where she herself posted the video of her dad, and her getting into it. But then she had the nerve, she got mad. Hold on one second, guys. She got mad at the people that wanted to comment on the situation.
Everybody said you. Just like everybody said you. Quit talking about it. Cost me again. Oh, y'all do too fucking much.
No, yeah, we do too much. Because we trying to help.
Nigga, you ain't trying to help me. This is not big from the first week I got here. You talking about you want to go home because
you act like you do.
Because you act like you do. Let me home.
You pack your stuff, I'm telling you. I ain't packing nothing.
Well, I ain't packing. You said y'all call the police, so come put me out. Tell them come put me out.
No, I'm not gonna put you out.
I know you're not. Huh? You just here talking. You just like everybody said you do.
How do you?
And you do just what they say you do. You put your hands on females. You don't want to be a nigga.
Yeah, y'all beat your ass.
You ain't beat your ass. Shut up, nigga.
Y'all beat your ass.
Shut up, nigga. Get back.
Hit me again.
Stop biting me. Stop. Get up.
Oh, you don't do that.
You beat me in my face.
Yes, I did.
You was a bitch, nigga.
Yes, that's right.
You was a bitch, nigga.
That's right.
You was a bitch, nigga.
You better leave me alone.
You better get the fuck off.
You better leave.
Everybody said Dre. Just like everybody.
Good gosh. She said, "This your preacher though," and she laughing emojis put okay. The whole thing happened over her calling his wife is young. His wife is only 25. His daughter's 19. The wife got upset that she called her her name versus calling her mom. Hold on one second. I'm going to share more to the story. So Houston pastor Sheldon Williams Sr. exposed by daughter for abusing her. Pastor Sheldon Williams Sr. accused of yelling at daughter during a family dispute and physically abusing her. Houston, Texas. A Houston pastor is going viral not for a sermon, but for a deeply personal family dispute that has spilled onto social media. Nia Williams shocked her Facebook timeline after posting a disturbing video of what appears to be her father, Pastor Sheldon Williams Sr., beating her and admitting that he beat women. After the video, Nia posted a lengthy and emotional statement that she says stemmed from unresolved family tension and issues involving his wife. According to Nia, the confrontation happened after she relocated to Texas in an effort to start fresh with her 2-year-old son and rebuild a fractured relationship with her father, a relationship she says has been strained for nearly 19 years. She claims the move was encouraged by her father, who wanted her close and believed the change could help heal old wounds. Instead, Nia says the situation quickly got out of control. In her post, she described sitting on the floor for nearly 40 minutes while being yelled at over how she referred to her father's wife during a phone conversation with her grandmother. Nia maintained she was not disrespectful and says she calmly greeted everyone in the home, went to work, and later took a shower before being pulled into another extended conversation that turned confrontational. She says that when she did not react emotionally, the tone shifted. According to Nia, her father then accused her of wanting to return to Mississippi to be a hoe. A statement she says crossed the line and caused her to lose all remaining respect for him. Nia strongly pushed back against that claim, stating she had her own income, her own belongings, and was fully supporting herself and her child. She emphasized that she did not move to Texas seeking handouts and only relocated because she believed her father genuinely wanted to repair their relationship. The post did not stop there. Nia also addressed her father's wife directly, making it clear she had no expectations from her and suggesting that she had settled for the bare minimum. Despite the tension, Nia says she still extended respect, especially given the complexities of blended family dynamics. So what happened was, just so you know, there was a message. She calls the young lady calls her I guess you want to call it a stepmother. She calls her Mama J. The woman's name is Jazz. So she calls her Mama J, but she had an iPad where it wasn't the name on there for Jazz wasn't Mama J, it was Jazz. Jazz, Mama J thought that was disrespectful, and that's how this whole altercation came about. It was just ridiculous. And so the father was scolding her over that. She said for over 40 minutes. And she said when he didn't get emotion out of her, that's when things escalated. He called her a hoe, and then they got the scuffing. This is just beyond sad. Felicia, your thoughts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, you know what, Diva, you and the word sad. I'm going to tell you straight up. This is trash. Daddy trash, the daughter trash, the wife trash. Only thing that's probably in there as good as the baby. And I pray the baby wasn't sitting in that high chair because the father crazy. Now, This is the second night he done did a story about a pastor. Diva, do you have something against pastors? Because they're certainly looking inappropriate outside the pulpit and in the pulpit. First of all, I was stunned how they were speaking to one another. So I'm questioning, how does she speak this way so easily with her father and her father to her, but she's very gracious to the stepmother? I'm not buying that. I think this is how they communicate. They talk down to one another. And then you see the father with his hand his fist and he's punching her with his fist. And I'm like, oh my. So this has been your life. You push out your chest, you clench your fist, and you just start beating down on women. This is what you do. And the stepmother looked like at first she wanted to intervene, and when he started swinging, she said, oh boy, if I intervene, probably he's going to swing on me. So the 25-year-old is going to be a battered wife as well. So I don't know. She says he encouraged her to move back, and he's already throwing her out. And I know that some folks don't agree. When somebody asks you to leave their home, you leave and don't go back. No, she says she got her own money, her own job, and she has a grandmother to whom she has a relationship with. Maybe she needs to stay there till she can go back to Mississippi. But that's not a healthy relationship. Nothing good is going to come from that. I was so offended. When I saw his fist ball like that, and him leaning over her like that. No, we're both leaving. No, let's get the baby. Let's go. And everybody who got the title pastor is not a man, woman of God. They are not living in the light. They don't necessarily follow scripture. Let's be realistic. Pastor. He looks like a convicted criminal who's probably was messing with young women since who knows how long. And he wants to fix relationships. Well, there's no fixing that. Run out of that house and never look back again. I don't care what they say. I'm done.
I appreciate you. You know what gave me like chills? The fact that he was so quick to call this young lady a hoe. I'm not. Julius, your thoughts?
So, because let me make sure I heard correctly, because sometimes I miss the cue. Right? So we're talking about her iPad, and because it didn't say Mama J in the iPad, this argument started. Am I right? Am I correct?
You are correct. The young wife felt disrespected.
Baby, you only been in this young lady's life for a quick minute. Have a seat. Now I'm gonna turn it to this wannabe man. You were so quick to demean, belittle, disparage your own daughter and fight her like she was a thug out in the street. And you were like, yeah, I'm a woman beater, so what? Like, and you call yourself a man, you call yourself a pastor. But this is why we say many are called, very few are chosen. Come on now, somebody. We have to really be cautious of idolizing these so-called teachers, cloaks of the word, when they are menaces behind the scenes to their own families. This example here. Now, I know I have many family members who are pastors and who do not act like this. They probably have a past of it, but they will tell you, I had to pay the price and repent big time and change my ways and show by my actions to earn forgiveness. To the young lady, pack you and your baby stuff and get out of that house. You say you got your own money, hop on the bus to Mississippi. Go back to the Ippy. If you have a good relationship like you claim with your grandmother, hop on the bus, get the getting, and do not look back.
Thank you. Katrina, your thoughts?
I'm with Felicia. That's the most ghetto thing I ever seen. This is your dad. You talking to your dad like this. This is your daughter. You talking to your daughter like this. I mean, it's just like they was in the club. She stole his girlfriend. He stole her wife. This is so ridiculous. And then you tape it and put it on YouTube, and you think you're not gonna get scrutinized because the way you talking to each other. If he's hitting you in your face, the first thing I would have did was, okay, I'm going to the police department. And I'm gonna put this on record that you hit me in my face. You're a man and you hitting me in my face. Well, he said she hit him too, so I guess it was mutual combat. So I guess she would took it to the police station. They would say, well, it's mutual combat, and most of them gonna say the dad, the discipline. This is sick. This is so sick. And then your wife's 25. You lucky the girl calling you Miss J or what's up because something on the air on the iPad. Why are you even looking at my iPad in the first place? That's nothing. That's not for nothing for you to look at. That's not your business. It's my business. Why are you even looking at it? And you scold me because I didn't call her mama. First of all, where is this girl mama? That she got to go to the grandmama and the dad. Is the mom gone somewhere? This is so dysfunctional to the fullest level and so ridiculous that it just don't make no sense. This is just crazy. And then you're a pastor, so you go in the pulpit on Sundays and preach against the other men by hitting women. Oh gosh, this is sick. All of them need therapy. All of them, the little 25-year-old dad, the daughter, all of them need therapy because this is so sick on so many levels and it don't make no sense. And people stop putting your stuff on Facebook, YouTubes, and whatsoever. Handling the stuff behind, go to counseling. Do what you got to do. If the relationship is not working, you went down there to try to make it work with him, and you see how it was going. You should have been there, because this ain't just popped up. It's been there. It's been going on for a while. They all need help. That's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. In my opinion,
So there is more to this story. So I don't went down the rabbit hole with this story. It really messed me up emotionally because this man hasn't been in her life. He just got in her life. Not even a year ago. It's been like 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
He told her because she wanted to move to Houston. Well, I'm staying in Houston. Come on down here. He was a pastor in Mississippi. He moved to Houston. Now, he got fired from his pastorship. They didn't say why he got fired. I went down the rabbit hole. They didn't say why he got fired. He got fired from his job in 2007. In 2011, he was a pastor in Houston. Just 9 months ago, he said he wanted a relationship with her. He told her to come down there. He paid for her to come.
Mm-hmm.
She came down there. Girl she transferred her job down there. She working. She got her baby baptized. Her and her baby got baptized by this man 4 months ago. And she was talking to her grandma. And because she called her grandma, and her grandma said, how's the wife doing? And she said, oh, Jazz is fine. Jazz got upset. So Jazz sends her a text message and say, I saw your iPad and I saw that you got my name listed as Jazz. What happened to Mama J? She said, you're Mama J on my phone, but on my tablet, you just Jazz. Well, I don't like you calling me Jazz. So call me Miss J or Mama J. To me, 19 and 25. I ain't calling you mama or miss. Hell, we damn near sisters. And I'm not even trying to be mean. But when your daddy is dating somebody that's in your age category, there's already a problem right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm sick and tired. And I looked through some of those messages. And I have to say, if this is what y'all think raising a kid is like, that you punch on your children, then I'm ashamed of a lot of y'all with parenting. Because the way that they was telling her she deserved to be punched, he should have punched her a little harder. Those comments was atrocious. I'm telling you, whenever somebody hears the word pastor, y'all will be quick to put on a cape and cape for these people. Like they don't make mistakes and they ain't fell by the side of the wall. That man ain't no pastor. It ain't nothing holy about him. I don't see what God anointed him. If he did, he need to go anoint him again. He should be baptizing himself. Because evidently he ain't cleansed in the water neither. Because first of all, he sat there and she said, you beat up on other women. Now there's a woman that's in his comment section and somebody cloaked it and put it on the social media. She said, remember when you beat my behind like that? Yeah, I bet you won't do it again. So he's already had a case of beating women. And then he said it in the video. Yeah, I beat women. So now we got a man that is a pastor, a deadbeat daddy for 18 years. And now he wants to be a daddy and he wants to beat on her like he beating on his women. And he's dating young women, her age. I'm scared for that girl's life as long as she stay down there. She is working on getting her apartment down there in Houston, and I'm praying that she get it real quick because she don't need to be in that predicament with her baby. Her baby is only 3 years old. No, get your baby and go ahead and get yourself together. Just like you was in Mississippi living on your own, you don't need him. You did it 18 years without him. You can live the rest of your life without him.
Woo! Thank you. In my opinion, Wayne, your thought?
Yeah, I don't think she should have ever gone. I mean, obviously she knew a little something about her father because she said when she was arguing with him that just like they said, or they said that, that you were going to do something. So it's like you had kind of an introduction to what this man was about. I mean, and at your age and his wife's age, why would you even want to put yourself in some kind of dysfunction like that? To know at some point you're going to bump heads and the father's not going to side with you. The other thing, I didn't like the energy. They both had that thug energy. And I was just hoping, because the way she was talking and do it, whatever, I knew he was going to hit her. And I knew it wasn't going to be, them was cold cock punches. Because he looked like he had that in him. And she just told him, do it. I mean, taunting him. I mean, they both had that same energy. I don't know their backgrounds, but these two people should have never been in the same place. Not like that.
I don't know if you heard her say he actually physically bit her.
He bit
her.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
He bit her, he punched her, and he pulled her hair.
Oh, what you mean when he hit his daughter? Oh yeah. Well, I knew he was going to do something, but obviously she knew he was someone like that, because she said in that script, just like they said you were going to do such and such. Yeah, that's all bad energy, like that thug mentality. That's it.
Thank you. Callie, your thoughts?
I do agree. They all seem like they kind of ghetto and ratchet, but also I would like to add that all three of these people are cuckoo. To be thinking that a 19-year-old should be calling a 25-year-old mama anything is insane. And at 25 years old, I don't know why you dating a man with grown kids, but if you're going to do that, you should have an understanding that you guys are peers. Y'all don't have to fight. Y'all could be girlfriends. Y'all could be homegirls, but it's never going to be like a adult parent dynamic between you guys. That's ridiculous. You guys are peers. So right then and there, I'm like, okay, these people are delusional. Then she don't know him. I'm not even sure if I trust what his intentions were of having her come to stay there in the first place, because he's already messing with somebody basically her age. Now, from what I know about this story, she was supposed to be actually staying in the trailer. And I think when she got there, either the trailer was not livable or wasn't there. It was some of the weirdness, and she ended up staying in the house with him.
I heard that too.
Yeah. I don't trust this man. He gives me the energy. of someone who found ministry in prison. I'm not saying he was in prison, but that's the energy he has. I wouldn't be shocked. She don't need to be nowhere around this man. And as far as these people in the comments, people need to understand everybody except that baby here is grown. So this is a grown man who cannot have an argument with somebody acting like this with another grown person. Just because she was having financial issues because she was relocating doesn't make her a child again. She's grown.
Yeah.
So you guys should have been able to have a conversation. Something is wrong with this man, and that 25-year-old needs to get out that house too. But she probably don't have enough
She's the
sense.
wife, and I heard she was pregnant. She's the wife. I heard she was pregnant. That part, and then on top of that, I don't want to insinuate anything, but I didn't like the way he said, "Oh, you just going back to Mississippi to be a hoe."
It was a red flag to me too. It was a red. I don't trust this man at all.
That's how you talking to your daughter?
Yeah. Yeah,
and
no.
Then you see he ain't want her to leave.
No, he says, "Oh no, I'm not putting you out."
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Both of them need to get away from this man. Something is really wrong with this man.
Yeah, you know, I do agree respect goes both ways, but I wouldn't be talking to my child like that. I don't know.
She learned it from she's reflecting from him. I remember even with the Kardashians.
But let me just add this, Callie. She said she sat there for 40 minutes and listened.
Well, that's why I believe the reason why she started swearing is because he was swearing. She probably wouldn't have done that at first.
No, she said once he called her a hoe, it popped off from there. But she said she sat there and listened for 40 minutes. So he wanted to rile her up. He's right. He's not right. Something ain't right with him. And I would pick my son up and go back to where I came from if I could.
He better. Let me tell you, like just his mannerisms, and he had the gall to admit, yeah, I am a woman beater.
That part too.
Yeah,
it's
really. It would not shock me if this man's already been in jail. It wouldn't shock me at all.
Yeah. I just, there was a lot I didn't like about the words that came out of his mouth. And I was just like, yeah. She needs to leave, and hopefully she did. But I don't know. But if there's anything to stay connected to this story, I will. But listen, guys, I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me on this Friday night, being here. You know, Will Smith will stay connected to this story because I'm not sure what Brian is talking about. And maybe him and his lawyer, maybe it's clearer in his actual lawsuit. I'm going to see if maybe I can get it. Because right now, I'm confused, Brian. I'm confused. This pastor versus daughter, very sad. And the Texas grandmother, you know what? God bless her grandchildren. God bless girlfriend. And I'm confident now because they've been exposed. I'm confident they're going to reverse it and give the money back. But I tell you what, though, what I also liked about her, she closed that account. She wasn't fooling with them no more. Listen, I appreciate y'all being here. Y'all know the routine. If you ain't hit that like button on the way in, do the Diva a favor. Hit it on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo.